Hey, this is Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Kilo Whiskey Dead Ham Walking. Hey, we're back in Plains, Montana, where I lived for 3.5 years, catching up with some friends and getting some doctor's appointments done. And I thought while I was here in town, I'm going to go up to Patrick's Knob, which I've activated several times. I haven't done it this year, so I'll get the 4 points for the peak. It's also in Lolo National Forest, so I'll activate that park one more time. So we're just loading up the Jeep and getting ready to go. Come join me. Let's have some fun. There's our destination in the background with the clouds on top. We got some cell towers up there, but that's the top of Pat's Knob. We're going to take a different route this way. The normal route I take up the Forest Service Road has been improved, but it has some areas where it's hard to see the oncoming traffic. So there's an alternate route we're going to take today, and we should get up there in about 45 minutes. Well, here's the topo map of the area that shows the 2 routes that I've taken up to Patrick's Knob. And just to orient yourself, at the very top of this map, you can see Plains, Montana, and this red line here, we come in and cross the bridge. And where you get to this point where the 2 routes diverge, the red route is the old route, and from that point on the arrow there, you take a river road east and you follow the signs, pretty much a straight, easy to find road up to the intersection here. However, it's quite rough, and they've done some work on the drainage ditches, and apparently it's a little hard to navigate. And so what I did is I took the advice of my friend, and at this point we go to River Road West, and we come up here past the Amish community, and this is that nice nice flat road, gravel, and we come all the way around this way, and at this point we meet where the original road came up. And from there, it's the same road all the way up here to Patrick's Knob. So that's the 2 routes. I would recommend from now on taking the blue one. It's a little longer. However, it's so much easier on your car. Well, so far, this road's been quite nice compared to the alternate route I usually take. At this point in time, there's absolutely no need to bring a 4-wheel drive, but we'll see as we get further up on the road. Nice and graded. Easy to drive on. All right, we're on Forest Service Road 7698 so far. It's still been a pretty nice road. Had some rough spots since you heard from me last, and I wouldn't take a normal passenger car up here. I still would take a high clearance car. I'm in a 4-wheel drive Jeep. I am not in 4-wheel drive, but there's a couple turns that involve a little bit of sand, no problem, and some bumpy rocks, some sharp rocks, so be a little discerning in what kind of vehicle you take up here. But so far it's been just a pleasure. We had a lot of rain the last couple days. This is the first sunny day, so everything's cooled off. There's no dust. It's just perfect. Okay, we're at the intersection of what is the route I used to take up here and the route I took today. I'm looking down at the route I used to come up, which is the 508, Forest Service Road 508, and we're at this intersection. And off to the right here is the part of the road that I'm very familiar with. I've done many times before. I've got to say, this new route I've taken is just a joy to drive. It's just like driving on a highway. You need a high clearance car. However, I do know that the rest of the trip from here to the top of the peak, it gets a lot rougher. You really should have a 4-wheel drive on this, even though most of it is really easy to drive on. So anyway, off to the peak. We know where we are. All right, the summit's just ahead. You can see all the communication towers. And when we get up there, there's a loop road that goes around those towers and back out this way. And we're going to go on the far side of that loop road because we can get in the shadow of all those towers, because they will interfere with my communication a little bit, and we get in the shadow of the mountain and we'll have a lot better chance of getting some QSOs. So we made it, and it turns out they've graded the last part of this road that I assumed was going to be like it was last year, very rocky and they've actually come through and scraped it, and it's a lot easier to get here. All right, we're on the far side of the loop road. We got a ranger station, a fire lookout station that's right next to the comm towers, but those big ones we can't see anymore. I got the Jeep parked here on the loop road. A spectacular view of the valley below. Right in the distance there is the river coming out of Flathead Lake. That's the Flathead River, and it joins the Clark Fork River somewhere behind these trees. But I'm high on the peak at 6,800 feet. You got some clouds coming in, but it's still pretty much blue sky and warming up a bit. So probably these clouds are going to come in a little later. So I'm going to get on the air and we're going to activate this peak and this park. All right, just to review my normal standard operating setup for summits on the air and parks on the air. If you look at that dead tree, you can see I've got a extendable, collapsible fiberglass fishing pole. It's about 20 feet long. I've got it extended out and bungee corded to the tree. And if we look up at the top of it, looking at the top of it, you can see I have rubber banded a thin copper wire to it, which is my antenna. That antenna extends 88 feet back to the Jeep, and I'll show you how I hook it up to the radio. My antenna is just a simple wire, that's all. I brought all my stuff in the back of the Jeep, but to have a legal SOTA activation, summits on the air, I cannot operate out of the Jeep. I am supposed to carry my equipment to the site, and I'm going to carry my equipment 4 feet away. Everything you see me use, I normally can put in a backpack and hike. The fact that I've got a box I'm sitting on is irrelevant. So I'm going to sit in this chair away from the Jeep and legally activate this summit, and I'll also get the park. All right, here's my setup. Here's the wire coming from the tree that I just showed you, and it comes in, I stick it up on top of my hiking pole, and the wire comes down and it connects into my Elecraft KX3 on one of these things. And then off the ground, I've got a black counterpoise that runs perpendicular to the antenna out about 15 feet. It's there on the ground. And I got my Bio-NO battery to power everything. This is actually too big for portable. This thing weighs about 5 pounds. I can get a Bio-NO about half the size, and it'll power this thing for days. And I got my microphone speaker combo. This is a Alex mic that you can't get anymore, but it's got a speaker built into the mic because the speaker in the Elecraft itself is pretty weak. So my only disadvantage today is that it's a Monday. I don't know how many people are going to be out there, but we're going to give it a shot. And I'm going to tuck this Elecraft inside the case and keep it in the shade because this thing doesn't like to get hot. So let's get on the air and see what we can do. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Kilo Whiskey, KJ7OKW, Summits on the Air, CQ SOTA from Patrick's Knob in Sanders County, Montana, Whiskey 7 Mike / Lima Oscar -046, CQ SOTA. I already got 4 for the peak, and my radio's heating up. It drops down to 5 watts, so I'm going to move it into the back of the Jeep, and I'm okay doing that for the parks on the air. So I haven't violated any rules. I'm going to give this another shot here. KJ7OKW, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar, Kilo Whiskey, Summits on the Air, CQ SOTA from from Whiskey 7 Mike / Lima Oscar -046 in Sanders County, Montana, CQ SOTA. All right, we're going to move in. You can stop. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar, Kilo Whiskey, KJ7OKW, Parks on the Air, CQ POTA from Kilo -4507 from Western Montana, CQ POTA. Alpha Kilo 7 Lima Victor, Park to Park, you're 5555 here in Montana.
I'm going to give you a course bringing into Las Vegas, Nevada, the park Kilo 7494.
Roger, Park Kilo 7494, Las Vegas. What's the name of that park, by the way?
Red Rock Conservation Area.
All right, I've seen that before. Well, I thank you for chasing me. I seem to be getting West Coast only today, but I'm not complaining. So thanks for chasing me.
That's about all I'm getting from here. I've always, on FT8 I was getting some East Coast, but must be marginal. Anyway, thank you very much. 73.
Yeah, thanks so much. I really appreciate you chasing me. 73. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Kilo Whiskey. Summits on the air. CQ POTA from Kilo-4507 in western Montana. CQ POTA. I got a Whiskey 6 way down in the background. Come back again, please. Whiskey 6 Hotel Delta X-Ray got you to 4343 here in Montana. Roger, Roger, Whiskey 6 Tango Delta X-Ray. Again, you're 4343.
You're 3333 into Oregon, over.
Roger on the 33 Oregon. Thanks so much for chasing me. I appreciate it.
Hey, good luck.
Thanks so much. I got Whiskey and India Kilo Echo. What's your number, please? Roger, Roger. Whiskey 6 India Kilo Echo. You're 5353 here in Montana.
Okay, thank you for the 53 and 59, Southern California.
Roger, 59 Southern California. Thanks so much for chasing me. Appreciate it. 73s. W6, come back one more time. Okay, got it all that time. Whiskey Alpha 6, November Foxtrot Juliet, you're 5555 here in Montana.
Roger, and you're 53, Western Washington, over.
Roger, Washington, and 53. Thanks so much for chasing me. Seem to be getting West Coast today, but that's okay. Thanks for chasing.
Good luck, WA6 73.
73s, thanks so much. Well, let's see how we did for the day. We got a total of 15 QSOs. Now, the first 5 on the bottom of the list were QSOs I got when spotting myself on Summits on the Air. So those 5 people responded to my call for Summits on the Air, and the remaining 10 were people who responded to me when I was spotting for Parks on the Air. But it doesn't matter. All 15 QSOs count for both Summits on the Air and Parks on the Air. And since you only need 10 to activate a park, I got plenty. And you only need 4 to activate a peak, so I got plenty. So I got both parks and the peak activated. And looking at where they came from, mostly West Coast, and mostly under 1,000 miles. The furthest one we got was Kansas, W0ERI. I catch her quite a lot. She's out there hunting all the time. But it was a pretty good day. We'll look at the map, and as you can see, I'm up here where the little green triangle is, and everybody pretty much is on the West Coast. I got one in Kansas City. There's one in Texas as well that's on the list of QSOs, but for some reason it didn't put itself on the map. But again, doesn't really matter where they come from. It just seems the propagation was pointing that way today, and a very successful activation. It was a lot of fun. And if you like my videos, please like and subscribe my channel. I try to make them interesting and fun, and I really enjoy doing them. So, see you next time.